Prince Harry has once again sparked a storm of criticism, this time for jetting off to Ukraine while his father, King Charles III, battles cancer back home. For many, this latest move is yet another baffling chapter in the saga of the self-exiled royal. And leading the chorus of condemnation is none other than Piers Morgan, who didn't hold back in questioning Harry's motives, morals, and maturity. Harry will fly to war zones, walk through minefields, and pose for dramatic photo ops, but he won't visit his own father who's battling a serious illness. What kind of son does that? Morgan asked on air, his words laced with both disbelief and fury. He went on to accuse Harry of using humanitarian causes as little more than a spotlight, something that garners applause, headlines, and Instagram likes, but conveniently allows him to avoid confronting the fractured relationships he's left behind. To Morgan, and to a growing number of critics, this isn't just a personal failing, it's a pattern. Prince Harry, once the affable and beloved spare, has become a master of public image, often appearing more concerned with how things look than how they actually are. His surprise visit to Ukraine, while admirable on the surface, has been interpreted by many as a calculated distraction, a way to polish his global credentials while sidestepping the uncomfortable reality of his royal neglect. And that reality is hard to ignore. King Charles, newly crowned and newly diagnosed, has had to face one of the most challenging moments of his life without the presence, or support, of his youngest son. While palace insiders have hinted at brief conversations between the two, there has been no meaningful reunion, no heartfelt father-son moment, no images of solidarity. Instead, Harry continues to operate on the periphery, occasionally swooping in for PR-managed appearances before disappearing back into the curated calm of Montecito. Critics argue that this kind of behavior reveals a disturbing truth: Harry's public acts of compassion often mask a deep private indifference. He speaks eloquently about mental health and healing, yet seems unable or unwilling to extend those values to his own family. He condemns toxic dynamics and emotional isolation, yet has played a central role in deepening the royal rift with his tell-all interviews, explosive memoir, and ever-expanding media ventures. His defenders claim that Harry's relationship with his father is complicated and that past wounds run deep. But for many, those reasons no longer justify the coldness of his actions. After all, Charles is not just a king, he is a father facing a life-threatening illness. If ever there was a time to put aside pride and politics, this is it. And yet, Harry's response has been lukewarm at best. A 30-minute visit in February, widely criticized as rushed and superficial, was the extent of his reconnection with Charles. Meanwhile, his team remains tight-lipped about any future plans to return to the UK. In contrast, his high-profile trip to Ukraine was accompanied by polished press releases, professional photography, and the usual social media buzz. For Morgan and others, the difference in tone couldn't be more telling. "This isn't about duty anymore," Morgan said. "This is about ego." Harry shows up where the cameras are. He doesn't want reconciliation, he wants relevance. What's especially galling to many royal watchers is the hypocrisy. Harry and Meghan have long positioned themselves as champions of family values, compassion, and emotional well-being. But their actions often suggest otherwise. Whether it's airing private family grievances to Oprah, publicly accusing senior royals of racism, or monetising personal trauma in books and documentaries, the Sussexes' version of truth-telling often feels more like score settling. And in this latest chapter, the cost of that approach has become painfully clear. King Charles, already burdened with the weight of monarchy and illness, must now also carry the emotional toll of a son who seems more comfortable among strangers than kin. For all Harry's talk of breaking cycles and building bridges, his actual choices tell a very different story. There's also the question of Meghan's influence in all of this. While she was notably absent from the Ukraine trip, her presence looms large in every decision Harry makes. Critics have long suggested that Meghan is the architect of Harry's post-royal life, a life that often seems more rooted in image management than genuine personal growth. Whether she is advising him to keep his distance from the UK or whether Harry himself has chosen that path, the result is the same: a widening chasm between the prince and the people he once called family. Piers Morgan, never one to mince words, sees it all as part of a carefully orchestrated rebranding effort. "This isn't the Harry we knew," he said. This is a new version of him, one that's been molded, managed, and marketed to the world. And frankly, it's tragic. There is, of course, still time for Harry to change course. A genuine effort to reconnect with his father, a private show of support, or even a quiet visit away from the cameras could go a long way toward healing old wounds. But the longer he waits, the more unlikely such a reconciliation becomes, and the more cynical the public grows about his intentions. For now, though, the optics are damning. A prince who can fly halfway around the world to offer support in a foreign war zone, but can't sit by his father's hospital bed for more than a fleeting visit. A man who speaks of duty, honor, and integrity, yet seems to treat those values as optional. In the end, Piers Morgan's harsh words may sting, but they reflect a sentiment that's gaining traction, that Prince Harry, in his pursuit of independence and identity, may have lost sight of the most important things.